Shalom, shalom to everyone. I'm just here to talk about women and men. They're supposed to help each other, or the man supposed to can say, give the whole money to the woman and all the people. Another way you can say they are, for example, like married together. There's only one wife is supposed to get then the woman have to give all the money for herself, not to the man. So the woman keep her money, and the man just had to give the wife, to the woman, to the woman actually. Okay, let's go to stuff. Tanakh. When I'm saying Tanakh, talk about the Torah. Then after that, you got the prophet, different story. But I'm not gonna mention can say the Tanakh, the Torah can say the Green Torah because actually it was given to Moses from Mount Sinai. It's mystical. And the prophet, for example, like why? Because they had tests. They had passed the test, being about real prophets. Because according to the Torah, they don't leave the Torah. They are false prophets. So the prophets from the Tanakh, they are true prophets because they have passed the test. So you have to pay attention to the prophets after that. So you have to pay attention to the prophets, and it is inspired by the Lord. Why? Because Ruach Kodesh, the Holy Spirit, that means the emanation of God Himself. Like for example, you got light bulb. Then the light bulb actually, when it gets light, it goes everywhere in every place. Also, that light, small amount of it could be in any place to somebody. It could be, for example, sparks. I'm just like comparing something material with something non-material because the divine is actually not energy. We are using the word energy, whatever I can say, to compare, but it's not energy. I can say so. The Lord is, let's say, for example, like a light bulb, and when you turn it on, actually goes everywhere to the same time. So when it goes everywhere to the same time, sorry guys. So when it goes everywhere to the same time, that's why it says, for example, the Lord is Al Shaddai, all powerful. So it can be any place, anywhere to the same time. But at the same time, also can say His light or His sparks or His light. Like I'm just making, can say, comparison. I'm not saying that His power is like sparks. I can say it's just, or that He is a spark. No, He's not a spark. I'm just making comparison, can say, as a symbolic matter. So it can go to somebody like a prophet. The prophet had the sparks of Ruach Kodesh, the Holy Spirit, inside him, and used to talk, and doing miracles because they got a spark inside. Because they got actually the power of Ruach Kodesh that came from the Lord Himself. They could be in any place, anywhere to the same time. Of course, I can say, and also live in people's life, and also if the Lord wants you, if the Lord wants, I can say also change people's life, but only at His moment. But as I said before, the prophets are prophets because they have passed the test. If they're not based on the Torah, they're false prophets. So now, because they passed the test, so now the prophets, because the prophets, you have to listen to the prophets. What is the mission of the prophets? Actually, so the people can return to the Torah. But at the same time, I can say they cannot make something new. Another way I can say against the Torah in any form. But the Lord can say something that actually much more wording, much more information, something else already reading. That is actually, can say, in the Torah, we all our words can say, for example, like He can talk about saying the people, the Lord actually needs somebody actually that not just present with the mouth, but also with action, etc. So there are some places actually give you much more information that is actually not in the Torah. It's the same thing, but much more wording. That's what it is, I can say. So you have to pay attention to the prophet because you have to return to the Torah. And number two, the wordings that they have, the extra stuff, they're not against the Torah, and they are based in the Torah. You have to also follow. Why? Because the prophets and God spoke through their mouth. So you have to follow what they say. So that's why I can say Tanakh is the word of the Lord. Now you just can't say Torah. Torah is actually a fundament. I'm not saying that is less important. It is important. It is the fundament. The Torah is the fundament. Then the prophet to turn to the Torah and at the same time can give something extra information, something that's already there, but much more wording that people can understand. And already did it with the prophets. You don't need no more than that. I can say it's in the Torah and also the prophets. That's what they call tanakh, I can say. But anyway, that's not a topic. So the topic is this, can say, according to some people, they want to take Genesis as the Torah. No, Genesis is not the Torah. Who told that? Torah is instruction about commandment, what to do and what to do, that come from the God of the Lord. You know, the mouth, I'm sorry, from the mouth of the Lord, or from the mouth of Elohim, the Elohim. Nothing more or nothing less. You can't be against that. You are say something else, you are following man. You're not supposed to follow man, you're supposed to follow the tanakh, especially the fundament called the Torah. Actually, you can say the Torah means instructions, what to do and not what to do. So Genesis is not. It's what has been done in the Mount Sinai. Not before that. Okay. So now knowing that, some people want to take this situation like a Genesis is they want to take the cursor from that time. For example, they say that the man supposed, for example, like the woman had to have been pregnant and have pain because they had no pain at the time. Like under the curses. So then after that, I'm saying my own words. It is there in Genesis, but I'm using my own words. That's all it is. I can say, so then after that, it have to also, to the same time, be submit in every way. In every way. That means, say the house the whole time, only go out with the man, of course, I can say. And when the man says, jump, you have to jump. That's what it means, can say, to be submit in every way, I can say. And that's in Genesis. But unfortunately, I can't say, so according to some people, that's the Torah. Actually, it's not. Okay, then after that, later on, he says to the man, to Adam, that now you have to work to get your sustain. It looks like he used to work, not something that he was not lazy, he was lazy. He used to work, but not having suffering, not having pain. So now he had to be constantly suffering with pain and getting tired, just like any regular human being. That's what I mean. So I can say, so now you have to work and suffer. I can say, after me working, normally using your energy, you sweat, or you without in pain, or whatever it is. Okay. But unfortunately, I can say, feminists, especially Christian feminists, and some Jewish people, and some Christian guys, they use the Genesis in their own favor. Okay. I'm going to start first with feminists. The feminist said for the can say, oh, you have to, can say, give me all your money, because the word of God said you have to, can say, take care of me, and also take care of the Lord says very clear, I can say that actually you have to take care of me, and nothing more, nothing less, because they use the Genesis as mitzvah. One actually is not mitzvah. If you want to use it as a mitzvah, one actually is not. That's heresy. I can say, let's go for that. Let's take the whole thing. But what happened later on? He said, you have a pregnancy, but you have to be submit in everything to the man. Submit in everything, but women don't do it. Women, they like to be outside. They like to be buying, shopping in their own way. They like to do everything, can say, the whole time. And there's a woman, some culture, for example, Latino culture, can say they don't follow the Latin culture. Can say today's day in New York City, they like to do everything, but said one thing, because in the old time, in the Latin culture that I have read about history, the man, they used to take care of the woman, but the woman, they used to be the whole time in the house. That's good. That's, I can say, you are actually spending money. So that's a good investment. I can say, because unless the woman is right there, you are not afraid that she's playing you around. Of course, I can say, and so like that. But guess what, I can say? That's in all times. In all times, you want to have everything, can say, like technology. You want to have like a charge you in everything, anything about fee or anything like that. Paperwork, only one documentation, only one paperwork. I can say you have to pay money. I can say the only thing they haven't charged yet is the oxygen. That's all that it is, can say. Especially in some countries much more than others, like especially United States and Europe. I can say. So in the old time it was okay. Because in the old times you used to have just a house that actually made of wood. Most of the time, sometimes made concrete. But you gotta have much more money, a little much more money, to build it up or build it your own self. That's what you used to do. Actually, my father used to do that in the old times. He used to build his own house. Then after that, gave the land. And sometimes he used to buy it. Sometimes he used to go to some lands that nobody was using it, and just taking the land. Simple as that. Everything was easy in those times. But much more in the ancient times. In the ancient times, actually, especially the Middle Ages, because in the Middle Ages there was no difference. They didn't have technology that we have today's day. In the Middle Ages, can say it was to have a house made of wood and have some money, to have food, and that would be, and have some clothing. And they used to can say have the clothing not for 1 month, 2 months. They used to can say the clothing can say for very long. And the woman used to actually knit the clothing. It needs to be, it has to be needed. How can I say, knit? That's how it was in the Middle Ages. So imagine that the old times before the coming era. So imagine also in the coming era, then everything was easy. So there was everything about charging money or anything like that. Then after that, some stuff used to work a little bit and that would be it. Now to this day, not even 20th century though, not even 19th century. That's when it started to change, 19th century, when everything was getting charged, United States and Europe. That one many people being poverty starting in United States and Europe. I can say little by little. I can say now most people they were actually in poverty in the 19th century. Now the majority, but in the 20th century, majority became actually United States in poverty until this day. But as I said before, I can say in the old times, so by logic and common sense, you need a man and a woman, both of them to take care of themselves, helping each other one way or another. It could be one person be working full-time, the other one could be part-time, or both full-time. So it depends. It's up to the person. There's no need for it, can say, to argue, can say. At least that person is doing something. But that nobody's doing not even one thing, nothing at all, whatsoever. Just being, can say, walking around, just being cute, between parentheses. That's immoral and it's not proper. That's what it is. For any side, regardless of being a man or a woman, in any form, can say. But unfortunately, can say the people using the Genesis as mitzvah in that situation. But what about can say to be submitted to the man? They don't do that. But they want to have men to get most of the women, now all of them. They want the woman can say to have the man's money and have worth their own money. That's why most women to this day they live longer. Because why? Especially in the 20th century, much more to the 21st century. I can say all the ages because I can say not just in the old times, but much in the 20th century. Why? Because the woman got much more can say resources than a man. Because the man want to get resources to give to the woman, so that's why they live longer, they're healthier. It is not because all the men don't want to take care of themselves. There are men that want to be taken care of themselves, but they are so naive that they will give all the money to the woman can say, and they don't take care of themselves. They use a couple of chemical, food that we have. That's what we have to this day in the 20th century. Chemical food, and that's what it is, can say. They don't take care of themselves. They don't got supplements, in plural or anything like that. So you don't have at least basic supplements, at least some food. I can say you have to be organic. If it's organic, even better though. But it's hard though. Why? Because you got rent, you got apartment, you got houses, you have to pay property taxes, and different stuff like that. So there are people to this day that think can say take the advantage of situation from Genesis, like we are in the time of Genesis. No, not at all. I wish, because can say to this day will not be paying almost nothing. Or you can say you're making your own house, your own place, or you pay to somebody else, and that will be it. And then after that, just get your own food, and that's what it is. Can say clothing, you get some clothing, then after the woman can repair. If it gets old, the woman normally take care of the clothing, to be, for example, to stay longer. Actually, the clothing to be properly knit, nothing more, nothing less. But unfortunately, there are people that think that we are in the town Genesis. That's funny, extremely funny. To the same time, these people can say, actually, the one who say they can say that today's day, even in the 20th century was immoral, is actually women that actually don't care about men. Nothing more, nothing less. They want that the man can say as a horse, as an ass, as a donkey. Actually, AWS is a donkey. Just in case. As a donkey to use as a credit card. That's immoral. If the woman who does it, that's immoral, can I say. Unless you are thinking about Genesis. So you're thinking about Genesis, so you are supposed to be, then, how you call that? You're not supposed to have the same opportunity, and you're not supposed to work. If you want a man to take care of you. You want a man to take care of you and being working and have the same opportunity as a man. Because all times, in the 19th century, the late 20th century, women, at least, for example, most women, they were not working and being in the house the whole time. So it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But then after that, that's when the 50s, they want, especially in the United States, they wanted to have much more equality. So then after they want to work and make money. But you have to, then after that, by logic and common sense, if you want, for example, like work and high quality, you have to also have equal responsibilities, not to have rights, not to have equality between parentheses and not being responsible and have the burden for the man. You have to also have burden. Because that doesn't work that way. But today's woman, especially in the late 20th century, especially in the late 80s, that is known in the United States and other places in Europe. Not all the places, of course, can say in Europe. Some places they still can say helping each other. Plus, some places actually the woman actually submit to the man, and they don't have too many expenses. They had, can say, country places. They got wood houses. That's like a simple life. So they don't have to do that. But in the United States and some European countries, women, they want to make their own money. They want it's equality, but they want burden for the men only. No, it doesn't work that way. That's sexist. That's abuse to the man. Like I said, so feminist is the one who likes to have the Genesis as a mitzvah, that curse, because actually that was a curse, I can say, and not permanent curse as some people think. So to use it, can I say, against men. If it's permanent curse, so I can say, for example, he said that, okay, after that, the curse, that you have to have actually not working and having babies. That's what it says. So you realize you mitzvah, that's what it's supposed to be. Then after that, he said the man take care of the woman. But now you work. Now you are out of the mitzvah, or the curse, and also the mitzvah. Why? Because the man was given, can say, the responsibility after that mitzvah. That's actually not a mitzvah. I'm saying the people that believe that it's mitzvah. After that mitzvah, actually can say, after that curse, he said you have to take care of all the women. Why? Because they don't work. The only thing they are in the house making babies. So now, if you work and the woman also work, so the man is off the hook. You don't have to take care, can I say, of the woman. Why? Because the curse says very clear the woman's supposed to have babies and not work. Then it was given the man to support the woman. So by doing that, that curse get lifted up by the man, because you are lifting out the curse your own self. Yes, woman, by doing it. So definitely, can I say, you believe there's a mitzvah, so you have to follow the way it is. Domestic, not going nowhere, not at all. Only when the man says so. And when he says jump, and nothing more, nothing less. And the woman's supposed to support, you can say. But unfortunately, can I say, today's day, even if we had that, men will not be healthy. They're going to actually, can I say, die shorter, and also, can I say, they're going to be around to the children too long. Normally, they're going to be thinking clearly, because you need proper food, proper nutrition to be thinking properly. You got called a brain. A brain needs stuff, not water and air. So even if a woman take the mitzvah, it's unrealistic to this day. It's realistic in the Middle Ages. And before that, I can say, because Middle Ages, there was not much difference. Because that, can say, they had not much technology. Technology, can say, something that it's like, for example, new shovels, new, can say, instruments, can say, by hands to make, and nothing more, nothing less. I can say more different bowls. I can say maybe plates, different stuff like that. I can say, they didn't have no technology in whatsoever in the Middle Ages. The same thing as the time of Genesis. The only thing they had less stuff, but not technology. So in that time, it was much more realistic. But now, to this day, by logic and common sense, and also it's against the Torah. Why is it against the Torah? I can say not just the Torah, the whole tanakh. All of it. I'm talking about starting with Torah. Can I say why? Because, can I say, men are supposed to have each other. When it doesn't happen, you got the children. They actually, how can I say, they don't get proper attention. They don't get actually proper treatment. And to the same time, can I say, when they see that, they see the woman actually abusing economically the father. So they're gonna be thinking, okay, that's why it is. So when I be abuse the man because they have to learn. They're gonna be from generation to generation. I'm gonna say, you're not supposed to abuse no person at all. We are the Lord's image. Man and woman, but men were first. Because we are God's image, you're not supposed to hurt the woman, but also the one cannot hurt the man. Because the Lord's image plus first. Not the opposite around. So you're not supposed to hurt the man. So according to the Torah, you're not supposed to hurt the man and also to destroy the family. You are destroying the family because today's day, it is not the time of the Middle Ages. It's not the time of the Common Era. It's not the time of Genesis in any form. Like for example, Genesis says very clear. Bereshit says very clear. Multiply, multiply, multiply. Why? Because there were few humans at the time. There were very few very few human beings in the time. So you think can say is the same thing supposed to be today's day? That every man is supposed to have a woman and multiply like a rabbit? No, not at all. Because all times there were few humans, everything was different. So it's about the economy and science and the treatment between the husband, wife, and children, the parents and the children, from the ancient time to today's day. So you think this is the same thing, and it's supposed to be the same between parents, the same role, the same mitzvah. I can say you have to be crazy, or you have to have, can say, using some kind of recreation drug, or a mix, retarded with drugs. That's the only way I can say. Because we are not the Genesis time, we are not the Middle Ages time. The life was very simple. That only a man by himself could be even rich, between parentheses, having a lot of animals. Because that's a person can say in many places, even in the Middle Ages, you could be considered a person rich. Some places in Europe to have a lot of animals and a lot of plants, agriculture at that time. Today's day, no. You have maybe in agriculture, maybe, but you have to have hundreds of acres of land for that. In that time, you didn't have the can say hundreds of acres to be somebody that actually can say with money. Why? Because everything was simple and everything was cheaper. Not to this day. Not even 20th century. So by like common sense, according to Torah, you are not supposed to be teaching that, the woman is supposed to have money and the man is supposed to have money and the man is supposed to give to the woman. That's heresy. Why? Because you are creating gold diggers. People that follow by money. And at the same time, the children see that you are some kind of puppet or animal. They're just making excuses being a puppet. Because real man is supposed to do that. No, you're not real man. What's going on, I can say you need a woman. So, but most women, between parentheses, I can say, because now the woman like that, because most women can say they are like that and you don't want to be alone. I feel sorry for you. Because you, I apologize. Because I feel so sorry for you, because you cannot be alone with a woman, so I have to obey the woman, so I have to obey a woman to give my money. Say that you are weak-minded and your heart is weak and your body is weak. If most men, they use common sense and the tanakh, especially the Torah, as I mentioned before, you're not supposed to suffer also the old time. In the old time, it wasn't the same thing to this day. Both they had to work, they had to do, help each other in one way or another, either part-time or full-time. And you decided to do that, and you say no to woman can say they believe that you have to take care to the household, and she's not doing nothing that can say to bring some money to the plate. The woman have to, no choice to change the mentality. Okay, now I gotta have equal opportunities, but I have to now also get responsibility just like the man. But having equal opportunities and have burdens like the men have, that's actually not common sense, but it's moral, can say. That's abusive men. Then after that, can say woman by doing it. Now, some men are doing it because they're weak, heart and mind. They can handle a woman, so they go for that. And number two, I can say because they got big bucks. I got big money. I make illegal money or legal money to the same time, or I'm because a doctor, or I'm a lawyer, I can say, or whatever I can say, or I'm an officer from the police, etc., etc. Because maybe that's the reason of it. Because that's the only way. If you don't got no, if you're not a doctor, lawyer, you can't do that kind of say to support the whole family unless you are not educated. Because when you are educated, you know, can say only with food and having a house is not enough for a man. You have to take care of yourself, your brain. So you have to do, kind of say, working out with some decent books. Also, I can say much more important than that. The books are good, especially I'm not saying, and the Bible, of course, tanakh is good. But also you gotta use supplements. Why? Because we are not in the Middle Ages. One more time, they don't have that in that time actually chemicals and so much destruction like today's day. So much chemicals can say they even can say some plants do not have some natural chemicals. Why? Because the overgrowing of plants after the 19th century. That's why. It has been proven. I'm not making up. That's a fact. Even there are fruits can say they have some chemicals. They are not natural. They put it there to make the fruit actually to look good, make it look beautiful. Like a glowing, some apples you see though, they are very glowing and nice because they got some kind of chemical to make it look like that. Because information about people that are actually having holistic doctors, there's information on people that use actually in chemicals. That's what normally they do. They put a lot of chemical beside pesticide. I can say that's why they got such beautiful colors, can say. But the old times, they didn't have those chemicals, but at the same time, there are some natural chemicals the fruit had before that does not even exist today's day. Also not even the 20th century. Even you go back to the late 20th century, neither. So it's not just food. It's not just concept to have a place and then have that suffering and that will be it. No, you think that you are uneducated, you need much more education about how to have a proper life. Like for example, like the basic life stuff that you have to have. Like for example, a place, cell phone, proper nutrition, and proper clothing. Proper nutrition and having some food in your plate, any food, and that's what it is a different story. You have to educate yourself. Normally the guys, they got big bucks, they say support these feminists, actually these gold diggers, your money is mine and my money is mine. You know why? Because they got the money, they got the big bucks. But to the same time, as I said, the real man, you can do that. If you want to get your money, you being a sucker, that's good. That's good stuff. You want to be kind of say away-minded? Beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't say that you're doing it because a real man is supposed to do it. No, a real man got to have self-control and not take advantage of other people. That's a real man. Okay, so now I can say by doing that, saying that a real man is supposed to take care of the woman, actually you're doing because you're weak. You are degrading men. You're putting down men. That's what you're doing, can say. That's immoral, and you are not a real man. It's okay when you talk against other men when there's something very immoral. Nothing wrong with that. But say to a poor person, being poor, they actually is not a real man in any form. You don't have to say directly, you are not a real man because you don't have the money to take care of a woman. You don't have to say. When you say a real man is supposed to give all the money to the woman and this and that, whatever, can say, indirectly you are saying that he's not a real man. Nothing more, nothing less. You don't have to be direct. I can say there are many ways to say you are not a real man because you are puppet from the woman, from the gold diggers. They think you don't want to say the truth. The truth is this, can say that you are weak and you like to be abused, but you don't want to say. Instead of that, you want to say a real man give money to the woman, nothing more, nothing less. Accept it, I can say. But it's okay. There's something wrong with it. You can be a sucker. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that you say that man that you're doing because you're a real man, and the people that don't do it can say indirectly they're not real men. That's the problem that it is. And that's against the Tanakh. You're not supposed to degrade men in general, especially if it's a fellow spiritual brother from the faith of the Tanakh, especially the Torah. You can't do something like that. You're against the Torah and you're against lion common sense. If you're using people of the Middle Ages, I don't care who it is, Ramban, I can say his real name, Maimonides Moshe. You want to call it Ramban the whole time, bam, bam, whatever it is, can say that's up to you. Because using commentary from people You are also worshiping man as gods on earth. We got the scriptures. We can actually read the scriptures, and God can allow us to interpret the scriptures, can say. We don't need a human being to tell us what to do and what to do when you got the word of the Lord. Why is the reason, can say, that God gave the scriptures for? If he wasn't, can say, enough, he would say, this is not enough. I have to give you this. And also, these people right here, the judges, I can say they got 50% of the true word of the Lord. You don't have to tell the whole thing. He will say something like that. Also, he will say something like this. I don't have to give you a book because you can understand the book. You can understand book. What am I going to give you a book for? Why? Why should I? If I'm going to give you a book, but you don't understand it, you need man to tell you what to do and what to do. Why am I going to give you a book? If he gave a book, I can say actually the information about the Torah, the instruction what to do and what to do. If you can understand it, if I can understand it, why he going to do that? If he's doing it because we can understand it, he has to be crazy. He has to be like the great Roman gods, crazy. Because the great Roman gods, they do crazy stuff. So it's like a form of Christianity. Because Christianity is based on Greek and Roman religion beliefs. And some Egyptians. Like I said, that's why it's got some crazy stuff. And some stuff from the Tanakh in the Christian Bible. It's a mix. If you do that, so you are following the same thing, the same belief. You follow Christianity. Because I can say in Christianity, it says very clear, I can say that men supposed to give all the money, even though to this day, I'm being equal between parentheses. One should, that's not equality, that's being attacked with the man. So, you know, I can say, if you are Jewish, and you call yourself Jewish, by doing that, you're not Jewish. You're more Christian than Jewish. Easy, simple. Because in Christianity, that's something common. Especially Christian women, they love. I say, oh, they love to go to Genesis. Oh, they love to go to Bereshit. But as I said before, this is not time to Bereshit. You got food, everything was clean. You don't have to take care of yourself with supplement or anything like that. You got only food, and that's all it is. Then you have a shelter, just a piece of wood, or some kind of leaves, and nothing more, nothing less. The coming era, the same thing. The coming era. Middle Ages, the same thing. But after the 19th century, then after people charging you almost for everything, some European countries much more than others. In the United States, almost everything except the air that you breathe. If they could actually make it free with the air that you breathe, they would do it. You might laugh, but it is true though. If they could do it, if they could, for example, charge a fee to breathe oxygen, they would do it in the United States. The capitalists. That's not opinion, that's a fact though, I can say. They charge you everything as a fee. Anything that could be possible make money. Do you think, if a person by himself that is poor cannot take care of himself, how am I going to take care of other people? Especially in today's day. That's craziness. And also can say by a woman and a man, they got money, big bucks, saying that actually you have to give the whole money to the woman. A woman can say just having her money and being beautiful, I can say you are against the Torah and against man, and it's lying common sense. Because lying common sense, not whatsoever, and against the tanakh, especially the Torah, I can say. You know, they be the prophets, can say, they are prophets because they passed the test of the Torah. They got some stuff that they have said is related to the Torah. That's why you have to pay attention to the prophets. Not Kabbalah books. No, not Kabbalah books that's made by human beings, not by the Lord, because the Lord spoke to the prophets, and the Lord actually spoke to Moshe. Not Kabbalah books made by cultist Jewish people. They were cultist people, they made their own stuff. Because a Jewish person makes something, doesn't mean can say that it's kosher. Because can say a couple of Jewish people can say they make the Kabbalah books, so that means because they're Jewish that's okay. No, it's not okay. Why? Because some people make all the books, all the traditions, they're actually not based in the Torah. Even though there are some traditions that are not based in the Torah, but it's not against it. If you want to follow, it's okay. But to say that it's a commandment, that is immoral. 100%. Why? Because you're putting yourself as God on earth. Because God himself, it can put commandment, not you. Not me, not nobody else. No rabbis, nobody else. I don't care how much money do you have, how much paperwork do you have, none of that. Because there are people, they got paperwork and they got money by connections. You don't have nothing with the Lord. You can have a lot of money and also can say not by the Lord. It's because you got connections or whatever. Why? The money doesn't make you kind of say a righteous person. Unless you're a Christian. Because Christians, they believe can say you're poor, it because can say you are a sinner. You got a lot of money because actually can say God bless you with money. No. It doesn't work that way. If you believe that, you are not Jewish, you're Christian. Hello? You just find yourself that you're Christian. If you really can't say the money because you got to because being blessed by God, or because it had to be like that, and the poor it doesn't, you're Christian. If you really can't say a woman's supposed to have money and have equal opportunities and give your money to the woman, and the woman can't say have equal opportunity actually be on top of the man, you are Christian because in Christianity that's what they believe. You are talking to somebody that studied the Bible from left to right. The first time between 8 to 9 years old, especially the tanakh, but not only, because I used to be a Bible fundamentalist. You know, Bible fundamentalist that really can say and obey the God's commandments. At least the moral commandment, the most important commandment there is. I'm not saying the ceremonial commandment is not important, but the ceremonial is important because to remind you that you have to follow the moral commandments. Because what they use, for example, like to have the succeed by using the talit to remind you of the commandments, you don't follow the moral commandments. The succeed, the tefillin, the mezuzah, if to remind me the moral commandments. If you are not doing it, can say you are a coffee. You just in the outside you are like a beautiful thing, but the inside you are crap. So anyway, like I said before, can I say that thing that say the man supposed to give money to the woman, this and that, can I say, and directly you're saying that men that are poor, it because can I say they're not real men or they're weak. I can't say like some people they got money because normally the people that got money they won't talk like that because I haven't seen no man that cannot the educated poor man of course can I say because I know some poor men that actually give the money to the woman but they look I have seen guys they live 20 they look in their 40s. Why? Because they eat whatever and that's what it is can I say and they give the money to the woman because they are naive or suckers can I say. If you believe that, I can say, when you are actually destroying your own health, when you are actually destroying a family, because then after that, you're going to actually create much more. If you got a daughter, that daughter going to see it, going to be a gold digger and abused man. Because actually, that's what's going on. If you are a masochist, and you cannot live with a woman, and you are making an excuse, because that's what you are making excuse. The real thing can say, it's because you are a loser. And you cannot have a woman and I say, well, if you not follow to help each other in any form, bye. Because you can't do that. That's what you say, can say, oh, the real man's supposed to do this. Because you are a loser. Simple as that can say. You are against the Torah, you're against logic common sense, and again, you are against other men that having love to the fellow brothers. It doesn't matter who it is. Jewish or not Jewish, especially can say, in any form. Toda Rabbah. Shalom, shalom.